Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Katie. I oversee support and onboarding here at LoyaltyLion. In today's session, best for last, we have our Ask Me Anything here to answer all of your most burning loyalty questions and everything from completely theoretical to very tactical. So we appreciate you have submitted some fantastic questions ahead of time when you registered for Loyalty Connect. But if you have any other questions, anything comes to you, perhaps it came during the day or now as we talk, please don't sit on them. We'll be taking live questions throughout the session as well. So anything you have, just drop it here in the chat. We'll do our best to get to everything here in this session, but anything we don't, we will make sure that we are following up with each and every one of you in the time after the event on your questions here. So awesome. I'm sure you're wondering who these other wonderful people here are in our room, our wonderful experts. So I will turn it over to them to introduce themselves.
Perfect. Hey, everyone. Yeah, I'm Jason, and I'm in the strategic onboarding function in LoyaltyLion.
Hi, I am Amber. I am a strategic customer success manager here at LoyaltyLion.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at LoyaltyLion.
Amazing, amazing. So glad to have all of you guys here, and we don't want to waste any time because we got lots of questions. So let's jump right on into it. Amber, maybe you want to kick us off with this one. This question comes from Marlene, and they ask, how can a loyalty program turn visitors into customers that make a first order and then prompt a second, third, fourth, etc.? And how can you take that same approach for and can you take that same approach for lapsed customers?
Okay, so I would say that all the best loyalty programs give customers the opportunity to start earning and kind of benefiting from loyalty points before making that first purchase. So you can give customers points for creating an account or signing up to your mailing list to really start getting them excited about working towards that first reward. Then just make sure that they're able to actually get that first reward after making a purchase. So trying to convert them to the first purchase to get them towards that first reward. Once they've got that first reward in the bag, they'll come back to redeem it, essentially. So that's the second purchase done. By that point, they're hopefully already kind of bought into that journey of working up to their points by purchasing, by other activities like referring a friend. So they're kind of in that cycle then. I would just say make sure that you have enough kind of really engaging, exciting rewards on offer to keep those customers engaged and excited about earning those points. In terms of lapsed customers, a little bit different, right? We need to make sure we're kind of giving those customers something to really come back for. So treating those a little differently, maybe not necessarily, making them kind of have to purchase to be able to earn those first set of points and that first reward, maybe giving them some points off the bat to get them going.
Awesome, amazing. Yeah, I think, right, we also see a lot of folks using probably tiers and stuff too to help gamify and work towards that third and fourth purchase, right, to keep coming back to, get to the top tier. Awesome, thanks. So we have some questions in the chat. I'll pop to a couple of those now and make sure we get to them. So Eileen asks to the group here, how do you know when your business is big enough to support a loyalty program? Is it number of orders, number of customers? Is it revenue? What would be the approach there?
Yeah, just jump in on this one. Obviously, having a strong customer base is obviously key because we do need them to keep coming back. Now, they don't already have to be loyal customers at this point. This is what we're here for. But obviously, having more people increases the chances of success in that race. Having a good sign-up rate there. I'm sure if you spoke to the LoyaltyLion sales team, they'd be able to point you in which path would be best for you. Obviously, we've got different levels of that. And obviously, depending on the customer base that you have or the revenue that you're currently working with, will determine kind of what plan is best. Because obviously you do want to see an ROI on that. So yeah, I'd kind of have a little look, maybe reach out to one of our team and we'll be able to point you in the right direction for that one.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Another question here in the chat is like, is there some best ways to market the refer a friend campaign, or what is the best way to kind of go about that?
I'm going to jump in again. I think we also got that throughout the day as well. So it's obviously quite a big topic. So what I would start with, there are kind of two trains of thought for that. And the first one would be, is it set up for success? So does it make sense for your store? So the first one, does it fit your AOV? Like, is your offering enough that it's going to bring in, new people? Obviously, I like the sound of like a 10 for 10 system because, it's nice and easy. You can market it really easy. But if it's not fitting your AOV, if, $10 is potentially too little, then it's not really going to work. So number one, does it kind of fit like what you're working with at your current AOV? Second one is obviously, does it work on your site? So if you're running any campaigns, which is like 10% off on your first order, or 15% if you sign up for on the mailing list or for SMS, you need to make sure that the voucher offering for a referral is competitive with what you've already got on the site. Ideally, it would be the best best offering that somebody can get, a new customer can get. The reason being is if you've got somebody who's referring, and obviously they refer somebody, they've kind of, put their word in about your brand, they're really trying to push it. Their person goes onto the website and then they can say, oh, I can actually get a better offer by signing up for the newsletter. You kind of stung yourself there because the person who initially did the referring isn't going to refer anymore. They're just going to say, go to the website, and then you lose the analytics for that. And the person who has been referred won't refer anyone either because they'll know the same thing. So you're kind of losing two opportunities there. So first train of thought, make sure it works, make sure it fits. Second one is just making it easier to do. So a lot of people just have the referral link and it's embedded in the rules list component. So it's on the loyalty page. So a customer needs to, if they want to refer somebody and spare the moment, they need to go onto your website, log in, go to the loyalty page, click on the refer a friend rule, open it up, copy the link, send it over. Lot of faff, lot of moving parts. Making it a little bit easier, you could have it represented through a meta field on the site. Nice and easy. You could also have it as a property in an email as well. So much easier for the customer. They go in, search for obviously your company, go to the latest emails. They can see their referral URL, copy that, send it. So you kind of cutting down the amount of work that it takes for somebody to actually do the referring. Once that is in place, now we can actually start marketing it. So you can start nice campaign. You can start pushing it using, like what I said, have specific referral campaigns. You can A/B test it, send it to different cohorts, send it to your most loyal segments, maybe send it to the middle segment. See what works. You want to explain it to the customer. So you almost want to give them like an elevator pitch of what they should say to their friends, like when they want to refer it. Be like, this is what I get. This is what you get. Nice and easy, simple on both sides. And then you've got those customers that, I'm going to be honest, I am one of these customers. I don't refer often. I need incentive to refer. So what you can do is you can do like a double referral weekend. You can just see if that gets anybody, like myself, to actually start referring. Because once you get them in there, you've kind of shown them the ropes, given them the incentive to do it. They might refer after the double referral weekend is actually finished. So having these little campaigns that you're running every now and again, that's a pretty good way to market it, I think.
Yeah, lots of awesome ideas there, Jason. Thank you so much. For any other US folks who are in the chat, just to help translate, because this was a word that I learned when I joined, faff just means fluff. Fun fact there. Great. So next question we have from Olivia. In their question is, how can you use new product launches to increase loyalty?
I'll go for this one. Product launches are a great tool to really drive, obviously, excitement across your whole customer base, but it's a real opportunity to be able to give your most loyal customers a bit of like extra VIP treatment to really show everyone that loyalty, pays off. So this could be giving them double points on those new products, or even giving that group of customers, your loyalty program members, early access before anyone else. That works really effectively when you've got quite an exclusive product that's really likely to sell out quite early, and that's really going to kind of get customers bought into the program. Anyone that's not in the program, it doesn't make sense to not be in the program, essentially, because you're getting all the best perks, like early access and double points, earning more as you shop more with them.
Yeah, amazing. And speaking of, like Jason said, the type of customer he is, the type of customer I am is definitely one that if I can get a bonus perk, I want it. I want that exclusivity. Awesome. Great. So moving on to our next question. And again, remember everyone that chat is open to anything that pops into your mind there. But next one from Luke is, how can you measure ongoing engagement with a loyalty program?
I'll take that one. So thanks, Luke. Very good question. There are many ways to measure engagement within a loyalty program. Now, there's no industry standard singular metric for that. So there's a whole raft of quantitative and qualitative measures that we use to measure engagement as a whole. And these can include things such as loyalty program enrollment rate, active participation rates, repeat purchase rates, which is what we talked about earlier, just again with Amber. So the number of people coming back and making those purchases. Average order value, which is always a very important KPI. Customer lifetime value, and one of the other discussions was about how do we measure customer lifetime. There's a number of different ways you can position that. Once you've got a set, I'd say, definition of your customer lifetime value, it's a really important measure for engagement. The percentage of sales from loyalty members. Another one is customer retention rate, which is really important. And then you get to some of the more academic things, such as the redemption rates, referral rates, as we just referred to. And then there's ways to measure the incremental margins, the incremental gains that you've got from your specific sales from members and non-members. So that's the quantitative side. There's also the more emotive and qualitative side, because loyalty is not purely about transactions, as we discussed during the day. It's also about that emotional connection. So there's always a way to reach out to your customers, survey them, find out how they feel about you as a brand, but also the loyalty program. And then there's also important to overlay the NPS scores and things like that. So by combining the qualitative, quantitative, the emotive, the non-emotive, that gives you a way to get a good feel of your overall engagement measurability.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. That's great advice there. Question from Ben is asking, how are stores personalizing their loyalty programs on their website? Jason, you want to grab that?
Yeah, we'll jump on that one. So yeah, when people see personalization, they get a little bit worried, because it normally means, I'm going to need to spend a lot on dev work. But you don't have to. A lot of stuff that you can do just in the program naturally. So things that you can do is creating a good like customer narrative through the whole loyalty experience. So parts of that are pretty easy to do is, if you're using the tiers feature, make sure you've got good tier names that mean something to the brand, they relate to your brand, and that you can market with them in the future. So they can go out on your emails. Those are things that people can get excited for. They're being part of the community. Number two is, like I just said, have a good community name. So kind of what do you call your loyalty program? If you're just going to call it loyalty program, obviously that's pretty, generic. It looks like people just kind of slapped onto the site. You want to kind of build it in so it weaves throughout your site. So people it's almost more natural that way. So good community name that you can market, good tier names. What I've seen is really effective lately is people changing the name Points, because Points obviously a little bit generic. I've seen loads of fun ones. So like with like dog brands, you can have Bones. I've seen ones with Gems. I've seen some gaming brands with like XP, and that little thing, because you're seeing that so often, it's got so much screen time. There's a lot of personalization in that. So kind of making it seem a little bit more integrated to the brand narrative that you're currently working with is going to really help with that. And you can actually do that through the loyalty program. You just go into languages and kind of change around the text there. So not something that you're going to need a dev for. Now, if you are lucky enough to have devs or you're working with an agency currently, you can dot loyalty stuff around the websites a little bit more, and rather than it just being one page that people access, they go to, and then it's kind of separate from everything else, you can kind of integrate it a little bit more. So you can have it in the account section. You can have it, maybe like points for product, letting people know how many points they would get in there, and just mentioning loyalty a little bit more. When it's more integrated to the site and it's got something that you can market, so it's got good names, stuff like that, then you can include it into your emails, and then it becomes really part of your whole part of the whole ecosystem, but also part of your brand, like able to stand by it, and becomes really personal to you. And again, you can always do this over the course of periods. It's not something that you need to do. What I see is a lot of people rushing to try and make it perfect on the first iteration. You can always do this every now and again. So obviously V1 goes out, then we can personalize it a little bit more, V2, and keep working on it, stuff like that, and how we're going to kind of integrate it into everything else that you're working on. So yeah, doesn't need to be isolated.
Yeah, some really great advice, Jason. I think that's like such a great point of like you can have different iterations and almost kind of test to see what your customers respond to there and what excites them if it's your first time installing a loyalty program, and keep refining it and really integrate it more and more with your site itself, rather than working on getting it all done in that first go ahead. Awesome. Our next question here is from Paula. And that question is, how do you get more people to use their points? And how do you get more people to redeem their rewards?
Okay, I'll go for this one because it's something we are always talking about. It's, the name of the game, getting customers redeeming their rewards. So I would say number one, like top tip from me, getting the right messaging in front of the right people at the right time. Customers who have kind of earned enough points to be able to redeem a reward, they've already done the hard part, by making a purchase or referring a friend. So it's really all about, telling them as soon as they've earned that number of points to be able to redeem. Getting the right messaging in front of them right there and then, and letting them know exactly what they're getting, what's in store for them. So your messaging should really be, value led. A lot of customers, a lot of brands even will kind of let customers know, hey, you've got 500 points, but I mean, I live in this very points-based world yes, I'm a LoyaltyLion, but customers don't necessarily. We don't want them to have to do the maths and figure out, okay, I've got 500 points. That means I can earn 3, 4, what? I don't know how many rewards. So we want to tell them straight from the bat, you've got enough points to earn, $5 off your next purchase, or, a free gift when you come and shop in store. That kind of messaging should do the trick, making sure it's really, really personalized to that right group of customers, should get them back and using those points.
Yeah, Amazing. Thanks, Amber. And that's like probably one of like the greatest things of like those on-site notifications, right? Is getting it in front of their face of like, hey, you have enough points for these rewards, and the emails that go out being like, hey, use them. You got them.
Exactly. I mean, we've got like email, we've got SMS, we integrate with so many great partners in the space. To use those integrations to get that messaging in front of, you know, customers, not just on the site, but, you know, right in your customers' laps.
Awesome. Great. Well, our next question is from Matt, and Matt asks, how do you make sure that the rewards you give your customers aren't just driving a transactional relationship? For example, if we give out discounts, is it just training customers to wait for more discounts?
Cool. I'll take that one. Thanks, Matt. That's a great question. To being a bit controversial, I think the first thing I would say is don't reward customers who just wait for discounts. It might have a short-term tactical benefit, but it'll never create a profitable relationship. So the very nature of a reward, you know, and why it's called a reward is that it should be a thank you for the customer exhibiting a very specific type of behavior and a desired behavior. Now, a loyalty program is an extremely effective behavior change platform. So it's a very effective way to get customers to exhibit your desired behaviors and to fulfill those desired behaviors. And the way a loyalty program is set up, both incentivizes and rewards, you know, those type of desired behaviors, those beneficial behaviors that drive the right customer interactions and drive the appropriate level of revenues and lifetime value from your customers. So for me, it's very much implement a personalized communication strategy directly with that customer and let them know exactly what behaviors will get what specific rewards and communicate that clearly, openly, and effectively. So let them know, if you're going to do this, dear customer, I will give you this to say thank you. Make sure that's a clear, open, easily understood communication. And then make them feel special in terms of that relationship. And this is a really important thing. Reward as generously as you can, as much as your margins will allow, but only for the right behaviors. So you know what behaviors create the most profit for you. You reward those and incentivize those in the right way so that people have a much, I would say, are far more incentivized and encouraged to actually exhibit those behaviors. By doing that, keeping your promises and creating those stronger emotional connections, you will create long-term, mutually beneficial, profitable relationships. And that will negate the need to do these singular transaction unemotive discounts.
Yeah, great advice, Dave. I think like that's the whole goal for any loyalty program, right? Is for it to be like we've been talking about, mentioning it's a community, you know, building a community versus that transactional you know, feeling that sometimes e-commerce can be. So question for all of you that I would love to know is, what brands do you feel are doing loyalty well? Can you give me briefly, you know, an example and why it's your favorite?
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I was just going to jump in before anyone takes my favorite. So, so I'm a little bit biased because I helped set this one up, but I really like the Inky List. For those who don't know, it's like a skincare. They operate in a couple of different markets as well. But their on-site experience is fantastic. There's like a welcome tour that takes you around the account. They've got quizzes in there, you know, very, very highly customized, and they did an amazing job with it. So yeah, I really, really am a fan of that one.
I'll go next. So mine would be the lovely Astrid and Muse program, Astrid and You. Astrid and Me are a primarily UK-based jewelry brand. I'm actually wearing them today, and very much repping. We talked a little bit about community, and anyone who shops with them is can really see that community is really at the heart of their brand, and their loyalty program, it's called Astrid and You, really helps them to create this community. So they have a great in-store and online kind of like versions of the program. You can interact and engage with the program, across channels, and their program really embodies the values of the brand as well. It's great at creating this community feel and these like long-term, long-lasting relationships with their customers.
Cool. So my example is not a client, and over the many years that I've been in loyalty, I've worked with major retailers such as Albertsons, Safeways, Tesco's, Waitrose, Ahold, etc. But the one that really stands out for me is nothing to do with retail. It's actually a life insurance company called Vitality Health. They're a British insurance company, and what they've done is they've taken a dry, morbid subject such as death insurance, and they've turned it around using the Vitality Rewards program. So what they've done is they've basically put in a load of very well targeted incentives, points programs, and tiers to drive behavior. And what that is to drive a healthy lifestyle and behavior. So they have a step counter. They give away a free watch, an Apple Watch, so it's very, very high value. They measure all your biometrics, and they measure that you're keeping healthy, your heart rate's good. They measure that you've done enough steps during the day, and then they give you certain points afterwards. The real key for me, it's created an emotional connection with insurances companies that you'd never normally get, and it drives a desirable behavior, not only for yourselves because you're fit and healthier, but also for the insurance company because healthy people claim less. So it's a win-win. So for me, it's the ideal program. I just wish I'd thought of it before.
Well, we'll put that in as something maybe we'll see down the line, Apple Watches for all. But great. Well, I appreciate you all. A big thank you to Steve, Amber, and Jason here. It was some great questions, great perspectives. We really were overwhelmed. I apologize. We didn't get to all of our questions. So if we didn't get to yours, don't worry. I know the team's already planning, like I said, on how to get responses to everybody after the event. For anyone who's here that already has a LoyaltyLion CSM, and perhaps this has kind of prompted, some more questions, or you're interested in learning more about, how somebody else has set up their program and how that can work for you, be sure to reach out. They are ready and here to help you with all of that strategic guidance there that we have. And if you're not already working with us, but you'd like what you heard today, and then, happy to book some time to chat more, with somebody on our team at LoyaltyLion. And then, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining our Ask Me Anything. Good luck with all of your retention and loyalty programs. And I will now turn it back over to Fee here to help us wrap up this great event.
Thank you so much, Katie. Well, thank you, Katie, Steve, Jason, and Amber. I don't get the chance to listen in on enough of our calls with the CS team, so that was a real treat for me. I think the expertise is just astounding. Apart from one thing, Steve, I can confirm from experience the Apple Watch is not free if you drop it in a lake and have to continue paying it for another year. But hopefully no one else will share that experience. Now, I'm afraid to say it is time for me to close out Loyalty Connect 2023. I mean, what a day and what a lot to take in. Whether you joined us for a session here or there, or you've been with us for the duration, thank you so much for dialing in and being with us today. It's been absolutely fantastic to see so many people online, and I sincerely hope you've enjoyed the event as much as we have. We've covered an awful lot today, and with any luck, you're feeling inspired rather than overwhelmed. But remember, you don't have to retain everything you heard today in one go. The recordings of every session will be available within the agenda for the next couple of weeks, and we're making long-term plans to make them accessible on YouTube as well. If you asked a question today, thank you for your interaction. If we didn't get to answer it, then I apologize, and do stay tuned for any post-event content, as Katie said, where we'll do our best to respond. Speaking of post-event, we will shortly be sending you a survey. It's very quick, I promise. We'd love to hear your feedback on Loyalty Connect so that we can make 2024 even bigger and even better. All survey participants will also be entered into a prize draw where you could win $50 to spend at one of a selection of stores who use LoyaltyLion today. So if you like Amber's earrings and you want to go shopping at Ashton and BU, make sure you take that survey. If you're a LoyaltyLion user on a paying plan and you'd like to discuss how to implement any ideas you've gathered today, then your onboarding or CSM would love to hear from you. If you're testing the waters on our free plan, don't forget our Help Center and the LoyaltyLion Academy have a lot of the answers that you might be looking for. And we're on chat and we're on email to help where we can. And if you're not using LoyaltyLion yet, but as Katie mentioned, you've been inspired, then don't hesitate to book a call with one of our team via LoyaltyLion.com. All that remains now for me to say another big round of thank yous. Firstly, thank you to all our amazing speakers for their insights and their ideas. Another big thank you to my team, who have really done me so proud today. And finally, the biggest of thank yous to all of you who joined us today. Please do connect with us, follow us on our various social media channels and keep in touch. We want to hear all about your loyalty successes and we're here to help you with the challenges too. So that just remains another big thank you and we hope to speak with you again soon.